All right, welcome everyone. Dr. Staci here. I'm so excited you guys decided to join us today on this beautiful Saturday. I think this is our third Saturday of the month, maybe the fourth. I can't keep track. But today we're going to be talking about the Lifewave products. And so I'm actually going to go over the science and technology of this product line, how it works, and I'm also going to go over each individual patch. If we have some time at the end, I'll be able to do a little Q&A. But yes, Donna, you can definitely let people in. Feel free to do that. Absolutely. But if you have questions, if I have time, I'll be able to get to them at the end. So don't put them in anytime. Don't put the questions in the chat right now if you have any questions, because I won't be scrolling all the way through. Okay. So we'll see if we have time for that. But I want to make sure that I give you a thorough explanation of what Lifewave is, the product line, how it works, and how it can help you, as well as going into each of the individual patches. I know a lot of people ask for that, but I do want you to write down a YouTube channel. It is Lifewave Health. And that is Lifewave's official YouTube channel. You will find all of David's videos that he has done over the years, 20 years. You'll find all of those on the products on that Lifewave Health channel. But also, if you go to startx39now.com, that is our site that shares everything you need to know about Lifewave in writing and in video, but also there are links there to the YouTube, as well as you can click on each individual patch and see a quick little video right there. And of course, our clinical studies are there. So you can see all the patents and all the studies at startx39now.com. So before I get started, I want to make sure that you guys understand I am not your doctor. And so the information I'm going to be sharing today is for informational purposes only. If you have any questions about your health, any concerns at all, please check with your physician, your healthcare practitioner, and of course, if you're pregnant or nursing on medications, anything like that, always consult with your physician first. So let's get started with talking about the X39 stem cell activation patch. That is the flagship patch in our product line. David has invented over actually a dozen patches and 2 aromatherapy mist sprays, which I'll be covering as well too. But this patch is our flagship for a reason, and you're going to understand why when I explain it. It took David 10 years in the lab to figure out how to activate, elevate, and mobilize the body's own stem cells for repair and regeneration. And so the X39 has been on the market just a little over 4 years. So I want to talk about this patch first. And this is going to be in reference as well to the mechanism of how it works for all of the patches. So this is a non-transdermal patch. Non-transdermal means nothing is transferring into the body. So if you're familiar with a birth control patch, a nicotine patch, an estrogen patch, a pain patch, right? Those put a chemical or a substance or a nutrient into the body. And this technology does not work that way. So I want you to keep that at the top of your notes here. Non-transdermal means nothing's entering the body, means no chemicals, no substance, no nutrients, no herbs, no tinctures, nothing. Okay. So if you're on medications, if you're on supplements, if you're on herbs, if you're on different types of tinctures or doing different types of therapies or modalities, there are no contraindications, there are no interactions, and there are no side effects because nothing's entering the body. So that's what I want to explain to you, how this is working, because that for most people is a little far-fetched, to be honest. How can you put nothing in the body, but yet you're activating my stem cells? Well, let's talk about stem cells real quick. Stem cells are the holy grail of healing. We know that we are born with an abundance of them, millions and millions of stem cells. We're born with brain cells and heart cells and kidney cells and liver cells and hair cells and skin cells, of course, all of that. Those cells stay the same. They stay with whatever they are when you're born. But stem cells are what we call pluripotent, which means they can turn into different types of cells or tissues or organs in the body, depending on what's needed. They're responsible for helping get rid of cell death. They're responsible for helping with inflammation in the body. They do so many different things, but basically what you want to know is they differentiate. They can turn into other types of cells or tissues. The body knows how to do this, right? You were born, everything's perfect, okay? And you have all these stem cells. You have boundless amounts of energy. You sleep like this, right? How many times you've seen babies sleep and you're like, this room is so loud. The music is blaring, whatever it is. We're in a crowded place and this baby is just out, right? They're just sleeping, their body's repairing just nonstop, right? And then as a child, when you grow up, you see boundless amounts of energy. Go, 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 nonstop, right? Their brains are always learning and expanding. Their bodies are always on the move. And if they do happen to hurt themselves, say they fall off their bike or fall out of the tree, then they just get back up and keep on going. They may need a cast or some stitches or whatever, but they don't even miss a beat, right? Well, we know if grandma falls out of bed, she's probably not getting back up. Well, there's a reason why. And that reason why is because as we age, our own stem cell production is actually becoming less and less. So those stem cells, by the time you're in your 30s, you have half of them that are active. The rest are there. They're just dormant. They're tired already. They're wore out. They've spent 35 years trying to keep you alive and healthy and keep your body repairing and regenerating. And so they're like, yeah, we're just taking a break. We're out. And so then you've got, of course, your other half that are still going, but you do start to notice some signs of aging in your 30s. Did you ever see those crow's feet start to creep up in the morning? Or maybe you go into a room and you turn around and you walk out and you go, I have no idea why I just walked in that room. Or what about the aches and pains when you get up? You're like, oh, does my back hurt? Or why are my knees cracking, right? Why is this happening? Or of course, your metabolism slows down. Or if you are in an accident or do have to have a surgery, you notice your body's not repairing as fast as it did when you were younger. And that's because those stem cells are dormant. Well, by the time you're in your 60s, you have less than 10% of your stem cells active. The other 90% are done. They're tired. They're there. They're just dormant and wore out, right? And so that's what is going to make this so remarkable to you, is the fact that this little round Band-Aid that puts nothing in the body actually activates and elevates and mobilizes, gets your stem cells moving again and resets them back to their young, youthful, healthy state. And that's what I want to explain to you how this happens. And this is going to, like I said, be basically, the synopsis here for how all the patches are working, okay? And so when I explain the different patches, just know they are all working in very different ways, but yet created very similarly, okay? In a very similar manner. And so this patch, if you see that white part, embedded in that is what David Schmidt has invented. David Schmidt is the owner of Lifewave, the CEO. He is the inventor, the founder. He is the researcher. We call him a lab rat. He loves to hang out in the lab with the rats, baby, right? But he loves to invent. He loves to help people improve their quality of life. And so he invented what's in the center of this patch, which is a crystal lattice structure. And I do like this because it comes together like a lattice. And I always share this. I'm from Indiana originally. I live in Sarasota, Florida, the last 8.5 years. But in Indiana, we had decks. And so we had basements, right? And so there would be a lattice around the bottom of that deck so that your dad could hide his lawnmower and rakes and shovels and all that stuff underneath it. Did you guys have anybody from the Midwest and have that? And so that lattice is what I want you to picture that was covering that deck, okay? So a lattice structure. This structure is not entering your body, but what it is a proprietary blend of organic amino acids, oxygen, sugar, waters, salt. Now, not salt like at your kitchen table, not sugar in your pantry, and not amino acids like you're going to drink after you have a workout, right? Not like a pre or post workout. So these are solutions, okay, of chiral stereoisomers. And so basically molecules that form together in a very specific way. That's what a stereoisomer is. That's the lattice structure. Crystal, crystalline, not crystal like amethyst or like clear quartz crystal. This is not entering your body, okay? This is the solution that's embedded in the patch. Your body's light or heat that you emit, if you put your hand on your chest, you are 98.6-ish. Right now in Florida, it is 98.6, I think. So I'm probably 106 right now. So it's hot. So sometimes we're hotter than that, right? But we're all around 98 degrees, 97, 98 degrees. That is what this patch is interacting with, is our body's heat or the light. We emit that low-level infrared light. How do we know that? Well, you can go outside at night when it's dark and you can see your neighbors or the animals through night vision goggles. If you didn't have night vision goggles, you wouldn't see them, right? But we can see the outline, the colors, the red, the blue, the yellow, the green of the person from the heat or light that they are emitting. Okay, so stay with me on this. Nothing in the patch goes in the body. Embedded in that is a crystal lattice structure. When I apply this to my body's heat or light that I emit reflects back a very specific wavelength of light. Now, like I said, it's sunny, it's hot outside right now here in Florida. If I were to go outside right now, the sun has many wavelengths of light, correct? One of those wavelengths of light elevates your vitamin D level. We know that. That's common. Okay. It elevates your melatonin level in your skin, the melatonin level. If you look at my skin's dark. I can walk outside and go get the mail and get a tan. My skin always has tanned very easily, never burned, but always tanned very easily. That's from specific wavelengths of light from the sun. Now, you don't need the sun for the patch to work. Okay, just so you understand, I'm going to give you some analogies here. Are you ready? Wavelengths of light, infrared sauna. So in the morning when I'm done working out in my gym, I sit in my sauna. I can push a button that says detox. Specific wavelengths of light that I do not see or feel enter my body and help to detox my cells. I push a different button and it says anti-aging. And it's for specific skin repair and regeneration, different wavelengths of light. I push a different button that says pain elimination, right? Relief of pain. Different wavelengths of light go in and target my muscles, the sore areas in my body, right? From doing 100 burpees a day every day and working out on top of it. I'm doing a challenge right now. So different wavelengths of light do different things in the body. We know that. That is called photobiomodulation. This patch does not need an outside light source. It doesn't need the sun. It doesn't need a sauna. It doesn't need a red light therapy bed or the infrared lights that simulate collagen. It doesn't need blue light therapy. It doesn't need any of that. We are the light source. So when you get up in the morning, you put this patch on. You can put it right here. You can put it on the back of your neck. You can put it below your belly button. You can put it on top of your toe. I do not care where you put it. But when you put it on your body's light reflects back a very specific wavelength of light from that lattice structure. That wavelength of light elevates your own GHK-Cu, which is copper peptide. You have copper peptide. You had an abundance of it when you were little. And as you age, it declines. We know this, right? And so what happens is it elevates GHK-Cu. There's a huge amount of research and study on the benefits of GHK-Cu. If you will go to a website, I'm sure somebody will put it in the chat, reverseagingwithghk.com. That's where David started his research over 15 years ago, studying a Dr. Lauren Picard, who had spent 50 years doing clinical studies in the benefits of GHK-Cu, elevating it in the body. Everything from asthma and allergies to COPD to breast and prostate and colon cancer, everything in between. Go to that website, has nothing to do with Lifewave, but you can see all the benefits of increasing your copper peptide in your body. Some people do injections of copper peptide. Lots of different peptides, which is obviously invasive and extremely expensive. Could be some risk to it, right? Anytime you're entering the body with something. But this patch elevates your own GHKCU. What happens is it actually resets a third of your genes back to their young, youthful, healthy state. Think pre-utero, like I'm in utero, pre-birth, here I am, everything's perfect before I'm exposed to the toxins and all the things in the world, right? And so a third, over 4,000 genes are reset the moment you put it on. The person that invited you here can send you the what to expect sheet, where it shows you that right away within the first days, you're having an increase of that GHKCU copper peptide, and you're elevating and you are activating, mobilizing your stem cells, resetting a third of your genes. How do we know this? Like, how can you just say that? How can you make that claim? Well, because David has done clinical studies. Over the 20 years, they've actually done over 90 clinical studies, many double-blind, placebo, from independent labs and doctors and researchers around the globe. And you can see all of them at startx39now.com. So go there to look at all the research. You can also, of course, see this what to expect sheet, so you can see what to expect in your first 6 to 12 months of using the patches. But what happens is in the morning when you put it on, you immediately have that reset of the genes, that increase of GHKCU copper peptide. Your stem cells become mobilized, right? They're starting to get activated and elevated. There is a compound effect to using this patch, and I'm going to talk to you about that, because this is not a miracle cure-all, fix-all, put it on today and I'm good forever. Like I've had 30 years of chronic fatigue and inflammation, and you're going to list your grocery list of all the problems, right? Your fibromyalgia, your lupus, your Lyme's disease, and all this stuff. And you're like, I want this fixed in 30 days. And we're like, that is not going to happen. We're going to talk about the compound effect and being realistic in helping your body to repair and regenerate. Getting to the root of the problem is a big difference than masking a symptom. Okay. And that's what we're usually familiar with. And taking supplements, or you're doing things great nutritionally and you're looking for that extra boost, right? Like I had nothing wrong with me 2 years ago. I had no health problems. I had nothing on my list except for just biohacking. I wanted to do everything I could to stay younger and youthful and prevent all the different diseases, especially the top 5, right? Heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia. I wanted to prevent those. That's why I've always been on my wellness game, is for longevity and vitality and prevention. And I've always wanted stem cells, always. I banked both of my kids' cord blood 20 plus years ago when that was not even a thing. So that for me, stem cells, I've been researching them for over 20 years. I did over 10 years of different types of stem cell therapy in and out of the country with my daughter. So when this came to me 2 years ago, that divine alignment, that perfect moment, I'm like, yes, this is my answer for longevity and vitality. I couldn't warrant spending $25,000 twice a year on myself for prevention and vitality and longevity, and maybe a little vanity in there as well too. But I definitely could for my daughter. And we did that for many years to help her improve her quality of life. But for most people, that's not something that's even on the table, right? And so when you put this patch on, you're going to wear it for 12 hours. After 12 hours, you're going to take it off and throw it away. It's been working with your body, which is almost 100 degrees for a 12-hour period. That lattice structure starts to dissipate. And we throw it away, or you can put it on your pet, of course, put it in your pet bed, put it on their collar, whatever. Give your body a break. It needs a break. People always say, why can't I just keep wearing it? I want all the benefits. I want them now. It doesn't work that way. Your body needs time to repair and regenerate. And so you take it off and leave it off for 12 hours. And then the next morning you get up and you do it again and again and again and again. And the sheet is going to show you what you're going to expect in the first few days, the first 1 to 3 months, the first 3 to 6 months, and even 6 to 12 months and beyond. So what our general rule of thumb is 1 month for every 10 years you are old. So if you're in your 40s, like I am, then you will use the patch for, let's say, 4 months, right? If you're in your 50s, 5 months, 66 months, 77 months, 80s, 8 months. Or we just say, stop patching whenever you want to start aging again. We know that the longer you use this patch, not only do you experience the body getting back into balance, you also start to see that age reversal component come in. And that's really important when you look at longevity and vitality, is being able to see age reversal. Okay. And that happens over time. Repair and regeneration happen over time. Remember me saying this is not a quick fix. You're not going to put this on and 30 days later, everything is perfect. Okay. You didn't gain 50 pounds in 30 days. So it's going to take longer than that to lose it. Same thing with the issues on your list. If you've made a grocery list of problems, of issues, of things that are bothering you, right? Pain, inflammation, maybe issues with sleep, issues with your mental abilities, clarity, focus. Maybe you have, you went to the doctor and you've had tests done and your blood work is not showing everything within that normal range. That's going to take time to get the body back in balance. And here's what we know about the stem cell activation patch. This, again, is not an injection. We are not putting stem cells in your body. So we're not directing where they are going. Your body knows how to heal itself. It has its own innate ability to know how to do that. The patch assists by elevating your dormant stem cells, resetting them, helping them get back to their young, youthful state. Your stem cells go to whatever area is needed. You cannot direct them. So if you say, oh, my knee hurts, I'm looking at a knee replacement, I want to avoid that, you may start wearing the X39 stem cell activation patch, and it may not do anything for your knee. Your body may say, I'm sorry, your kidneys are shot. Your liver is a mess. I've got to go there and fix that first. Like, we just don't know what's going to happen first. But I can tell you, based on clinical studies, and of course, obviously, based on this what to expect sheet, which was created by the company as well, too, what we see is around 3 to 6 weeks. So not 1 day or 2 days. Some of you are in the One Patch Wonder Club, right? Not many. I know I wasn't. It took me about 3 to 4 weeks before I felt anything. But around 3 to 6 weeks, based on clinical studies, we can see improvements with people in pain reduction, in reduction of inflammation, in better quality sleep, in more deep REM sleep. We can see faster wound healing process during that time. We can see more mental energy, clarity, focus, concentration. We can see more physical energy. People say all the time, I've got more done in 2 weeks than I've gotten done in 2 years. Because your body's GHK is elevated, right? Those stem cells are mobilized, they're woke up, and your body's like, whoa, hey, this is what I need. Yeah, I remember you. You were here before. Yeah, let's do that again. And so when you continue to do that every single day, you see this compound effect of not only feeling better and better and better, looking younger and younger and younger and younger, which obviously we know the youth on the outside is an inside job. When your insides are healthy, you look that on the outside, and that's what you're going for, right? The inside. We want the systems of the body, the organs of the body, the cells of the body to function as if they were younger. And we can see from continued use of our patches, even at 6 weeks. At 6 weeks, we can see improvements in our entire vascular system. Cardiovascular system is part of that. We can see improvements in that vascular system as early as 6 weeks, as it's functioning younger than it was just 6 weeks prior, not weeks 1, 2, 3, or 4, So when I look at when someone says, well, I'm going to use this for 30 days and I'll tell you what I think. And I'm like, I don't expect you to notice anything in 30 days. Honestly, if you do, that's fantastic, but I don't expect you to. This is not a quick fix. This is regenerative medicine. This is repair. This is restore. This is regenerate, not degenerate. Like, time is going on no matter what. You're either aging or you're getting younger. You're either degenerating or you are regenerating. And so this, for the price of a cup of coffee a day, gives you the ability to repair and regenerate, to get to the root cause, because eventually your own stem cells will repair and regenerate everything. So based on your age, if you're in your 60s, it's going to take 6 months to get up to your full stem cell regeneration point. That means by that point, all of your own stem cells should be active and mobile. They should be working to repair and regenerate the body. So what you see after that 6 months is probably going to be exponential. And that's usually what we see with people with their digestive system, their nervous system, their immune system, their cardiovascular system, all of their organs and cells and tissues. And again, we can see all of this on our clinical studies. And you can see it on the clinical studies too at startx39now.com. So now that you understand the mechanism by which this patch works and what would be something to expect in the first few months, first year or so, right? Or beyond. I'm coming up on 2 years here in a couple weeks of using these patches myself. They are a tool in my toolbox. And I'll be honest with you, they are the most powerful, the most valuable, and the most affordable tool that I have in my toolbox when I look at a comprehensive, all-encompassing modality be able to help my body without me having to try to digest things or assimilate things or absorb things or remember to even take them. Like stick your patches next to your toothbrush in the morning. You brush your teeth every day. God, I hope you do, right? And then, of course, put your patch on. And then when you go brush your teeth at night, then you take your patch off. Done deal. Easy peasy, right? Now, of course, we know there's some daytime patches and nighttime patches, and I'm going to go into the different patches right now. And I'll start with the daytime only patches. So we can talk about those, and then I'll talk about the nighttime only, and then we'll talk about the other patches as well too. But understand that each patch looks just like this. You would never know anything different, except for, thank God, on the back, they do put the names on them, which is amazing. That is super important, right? So you know which patch you're putting on. And then once you put it on, who knows, right? A lot of times we put them right in an order, like straighten a line down our back or straighten a line down below your belly button. Or of course you can pick any of the spots in the instruction booklet that comes with the patches to be able to decide which spot you want. Each patch has been tested, like I said, clinical studies around the globe using traditional Chinese acupuncture, TCM, using these points. These specific points are obviously connected to specific meridians, which impact very specific systems and organs in the body, which is why David chose these spots to be able to use for our clinical studies. Okay, so you can use those spots, or any spot will work to activate and elevate the peptide, but each patch signals a different peptide. Okay, are you ready for this part? Each patch has its own crystal lattice structure. Each patch is a different combination of organic amino acids, sugars, oxygen, waters, and salts, all different. So they signal different peptides. All right, so we've talked about X39 signals GHKCU. I'm going to talk to you about X49. This is David's most recent patch, and it signals a daughter peptide, AHKCU. AHKCU loves its mother, so they work really well together. Okay, he invented this for people, two groups, really, people that are athletes, that are on their performance game, want to up their performance game, like my 18-year-old, who this has made a massive difference in his game in the gym and on the court, using this combination. So for athletes, for people that are interested in working out, right, that want to help with their body, their performance, but also X49, what he invented it for was to help build lean muscle mass, which when we look at longevity, the people that live longer have more lean muscle mass. That's a fact. And so doing something to keep your muscles strong is really important. We know those muscles are responsible for keeping your bones in check, right? Keeping all the things, the ligaments and the tendons and all that stuff together. So helping to build lean muscle mass, helping to reduce body fat, which we know increases as we age, helping to stop bone density and increase bone density. 39 and 49 do that amazingly. We also see huge benefits in the heart with X49, as well as in the brain neurologically. So huge improvements overall in all areas of the body. But 39 and 49 are great individually, but when you put them together, that's a whole different ballgame. And you can see that from the clinical studies as well too. Daytime patches only. The other patch that is daytime only is energy enhancer, for obvious reasons. Energy enhancer. We don't do that when we're sleeping. So this is the first patch that David invented. He was working for the Navy SEALs, contracted by the U.S. Department of Defense, working on their mini submission with survival equipment over 20 years ago. He was asked to contribute to the problem the SEALs were having with sustainability, endurance, stamina, energy in the field. They were on caffeine, amphetamines, uppers, all that stuff, right? So he was downloaded by God, by the divine, the idea to create a non-transdermal patch that triggered beta oxidation in the body. That means turns body fat into fuel. So instead of using a drug or stimulant, the SEALs started using their own body fat. And I can't imagine they had much of it. This is the instruction booklet that comes with the energy enhancer. And I always say that is a Navy SEAL, right? That's what they look like, right? To be a Navy SEAL, like you have to be ripped. You have to have an incredible body and stamina, endurance, and strength. But their quality of life was not that great because of the drugs and stimulants they were on. And so David provided this for the SEALs, and it went fantastic. Things were going great. 9/11 happened here in the US. You guys know what that was. Our country obviously was in a serious situation. The US Department of Defense pulled out of that mission, that project, started to bear more arms and protect the country. David thought, you know what? This is amazing. I'm good friends with the Stanford University swim team coach. I'm going to go there. I'm going to share this with them, and I'm going to spend 2 years doing clinical studies. 2 years doing clinical studies at Stanford University with their swim team and with the USA Olympic swim team. And I'm sure you all remember the Olympics back in, I think it was 2008, when the USA swept the gold in the swim. And there was massive controversy. I remember my parents reading the newspaper, watching the TV, right? Oh my gosh, the USA, they put something in their body. And of course, you know, the Olympic board had to do all their tests, all their studies, and they proved, of course, nothing was entering the body. It's a wearable light technology, and it was allowed, and the USA Olympians swept the gold. We had a USA Olympic hopeful last year on the swim team that was still using our energy enhancers, as well as one of the tennis pros at Wimbledon. I mean, you can see all over across the board, athletes are wearing, to this day, the energy enhancer. I know my son, when we first used the patches 2 years ago, when he was 16, he started using energy enhancer on the court, when he would just go back and forth the whole time, never need a break. And all the other kids are like, 5 minutes, I'm done. And he would just go nonstop, right? I love that the energy enhancer turns over the lymphatic system. So when you look at lymph gets turned over, it gets flushed out of our body from exercise, which we all should be doing something. Go for a walk, garden, go for a swim, put on a YouTube video on your TV and do some kind of body weight exercises or something. Get your body moving, right? We want to get those toxins flushed out of your body, and that happens from your lymphatic system. If you're someone that has a lot of excess in your lungs that you just can't get rid of, the lung points that I showed you here on our little Navy SEAL, that's a fantastic place to put the energy enhancer. White right, tan left. So energy enhancer has 2 patches, white right, tan left. And there are a couple of different spots. You want to stick to the spots in the book because these are the spots that we show that trigger beta oxidation and are helping to increase your stamina, endurance, and energy. Okay. Now, as far as daytime goes, that's it. Okay. I do recommend that you use SP6 daytime. I haven't seen anybody use it at night, so I can't say that you can or can't, and I haven't heard any other research otherwise, but this is a patch that, this is the reason why I say it's daytime. Curbs appetite, helps to boost your metabolism, helps with your digestive system, and you actually use it on SP, spleen 6 meridian. So it's very specific to these 3 different acupuncture points. You pick one and stay with one of them on the left side of the body. So SP6 is left side only. And like I said, 99.9% of the time I'm saying we all use this during the day. because it does help with digestion, elimination. It helps balance your entire endocrine system. If you think of anything to do with thyroid or adrenals, pituitary, hypothalamus, your organs, right? Your intestines, your pancreas, your kidneys, we want to make sure that we're using SP6 to balance that system, okay? Then we look at nighttime only patches. I'm going to mention these, and then I'll tell you the others that could be day or night. First off is silent nights. I'm guessing you know what this patch is for. A silent night sleep, right? So here's the thing with silent nights. We can see improvements in longevity of sleep and depth of sleep with our clinical studies in just 7 days, but sometimes it takes longer than that. Let's be honest. If you haven't slept through the night in 20 years, don't expect it to be fixed with one patch one night, okay? Sleep is critical to our health. If you read Tony Robbins' Life Force book, I read that book about 1.5 years ago. Fantastic book. He talks all about stem cells, right? And the benefits of spending $30,000 in Panama getting stem cell injections to heal himself, and how they're trying so hard to figure out how to medically induce your body to produce its own stem cells, and they can't figure it out. And there's no drug that can do it. David figured it out, right? 10 years in the lab, and he figured it out. That is what we have our hands on, that power, right? But we know that in this book, he talks about, all the doctors are talking about sleep as being the number one thing. Even more important than food is deep, restful REM sleep. If you're not sleeping, and we know that X39 does help improve the quality of sleep, maybe not right out of the gate for you, definitely look at silent nights and definitely give it a good solid 60 to 90 days. Okay, before you make your decision or not, whether you think it works, because it takes time to retrain, repattern those circadian rhythms, especially if you're out of rhythm. It takes time to get that back into balance. And of course, look at your sleep practices. You know, when was your last meal? Did you, eat right before you went to bed, a bowl of ice cream? Or, what's the temperature in your room? Is it cool enough? Is it dark enough? Did you turn your TV and your computer off and your phone off at least an hour or two before bedtime? Those are really important things to help with deep sleep. The other nighttime patch is aloe vera. Aloe vera does a lot. We know that it does help to, increase your melatonin. It improves cognition. It signals a peptide in your pineal gland, which is in the center of your head. It is amazing when you look at like the pituitary, frontal lobes, hypothalamus, what it does for your longevity. We'll just say that is insane. It's amazing. But this is promoted as our skin patch. We can see the lines, the wrinkles, the crepiness, the dark spots, the sunspots, the wrinkles, the loose, saggy skin, all of that. We can see benefit from using aloe vera every night. You can put it on the back of your neck, put it below your belly button. If you want crazy, vivid dreams, stick it right in the center of your forehead. I personally have amazing, crazy, vivid dreams without it, but I do put it below my belly button every night. So it's amazing for the skin. Eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, think of all those skin things, rashes, all of that stuff. Aloe vera is incredible for that. Okay, reducing oxidative stress in the body and inflammatory stress in the body in a different way than, like, for example, the Eon, which I'm going to talk to you about next. Eon reduces inflammation. This reduces inflammatory stress and oxidative stress in the body. So different, because it's signaling a different peptide than the Eon. Eon reduces inflammation systemically. So think broad spectrum anti-inflammatory. So when you put this patch on, you can do day or night. I've always done day, but some people have a monkey mind. They can't shut their mind off at night. And so they like to use this patch at night below the belly button to help to get their body into a calm, rest, relax, digest, like a parasympathetic state. Okay, that's what Eon does. And so being able to get into that state helps the body to repair and regenerate faster, right? So when we look at Eon reducing inflammation, we know that inflammation is the root cause of disease in the physical body. We can see that. That's common. You go to your doctor and he says, oh my gosh, you've got inflammation, la, 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 we've got to get your inflammatory markers under control, eat this diet, take these pills, whatever it may be. And you're like, there's got to be a better way to do it. Eat healthy, obviously, of course, but use this patch. It signals a peptide in your liver to upregulate your own SOD, which is your body's ability to downregulate inflammatory markers like the fibrinogen, the cytokines, the homocysteines, C-reactive proteins, the lipids, things like that. So being able to reduce your inflammation is really important when we're increasing our stem cell production. I call this the dynamic duo. To me, these two patches are the starting point for every single thing, and every single person should be on these two patches. If you do nothing else, use no other patches, start here and use these two patches. Because when you have inflammation in the body from a surgery or an accident or food or something, right? We know that when you increase your body's own stem cell production, those stem cells are drawn to the inflammation to help repair that area. But a lot of times the inflammation is chronic. It's too much, right? The body can't get rid of it. And so inflammation consumes the stem cells. When you look at using these two together, it's super powerful to reduce the inflammation while you are elevating your own stem cells. You set the body up for more rapid, dramatic repair and regeneration process. It is a no-brainer to me, right? When I first listened to David 2 years ago, and that's exactly what he said. If I were to go get a stem cell injection in my shoulder because I have range of motion issues or pain or whatever, right? And I go get a stem cell injection, obviously, it's tens of thousands of dollars. It's invasive. There could be side effects. There could be potential risks. Who knows, right? But because there's so much inflammation in this area, if you inject, let's say, 2 million stem cells, you may be only left with 200,000 because the inflammation is consuming them. That makes no sense to me, right? Absolutely not. Which is also why we did not see the crazy dramatic results with stem cell injections with my daughter that we did with these patches. We saw huge improvements, more than we had seen in 15 years of everything else we had done under the sun holistic from using these patches, because when you reduce the body's inflammation naturally, the way it's designed to do, not using an anti-inflammatory, at the same time, you're elevating your own stem cell production. Then the body says, yeah, let's do this. This makes sense to me, because these are the processes that are supposed to be happening in the body anyways, before it got out of balance. This is all about balance, homeostasis, bringing the body into balance so the body is healthy, it's repairing, it's regenerating, and it's functioning correctly. All your cells, tissues, and organs, right? All right, so quickly, let's finish up with our Why Age series. Let's talk about glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant, detoxer, immune booster. This patch signals your body to make its own glutathione. Can you believe that? Most people are familiar with glutathione, especially now with the immune system awareness that people have over the last several years. And so they go to the vitamin shop and they get an IV vitamin drip and they do a glutathione push at the end. That elevates your glutathione about 23%, hangs out there for about 7 minutes, and then it's done. You go to the store and you get yourself a glutathione supplement or a suppository. Same thing, going to elevate your glutathione, 23%, 7-minute half-life. Glutathione patch activates your own glutathione, elevates your own glutathione level. What happens is it increases yours, by over 300% and sustains it for a 24-hour period. You put the patch on, you can do day or night with this patch, whichever works best for you. You put the patch on, you leave it on 12 hours, you take it off, you throw it away, and it keeps your glutathione level elevated for 24 hours. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals, eliminate toxins in the body. That is huge. We know we are bombarded by toxins from our environment, from the food, from the water, from the air, everything, everywhere there are toxins everywhere. It's insane, right? More and more people are realizing this. Glutathione needs to be in your toolkit. This one needs to be in your toolkit, okay? Now, most people start every other day or every third day with glutathione. If you're on medications, maybe start once a week. Medications are toxic. They are toxins. That's all they are, right? So if you just dissect them, you're not going to see nutrients in there, vitamins or herbs. You're not going to see things that are beneficial. They are medically man-made to, and a lot of them serve purposes right? And they can definitely be life-saving in a situation, but a lot of times you're just put on them because that's what we were trained to do. And so we know the oldest people on the planet have the highest level of glutathione. You can research blue zones. I was in a blue zone last year with David and some of the SPDs. David loves the blue zones, right? Obviously, longevity, vitality, studying, research, nature, what makes these people live so long. We're going to be in Sardinia later this year with another group of the blue zones. And so this is really important when you look at longevity, is glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant, detoxer, immune booster. And it's amazing when it coats your joints, what happens with the body, with the mobility and flexibility of your joints in your body. So think about that too when you have joint pain. The other big antioxidant and part of the YH series is carnosine. Carnosine is an antioxidant most people don't even know about, but carnosine is huge, so powerful. I want everyone to get this patch if you do not have this patch yet. It's like aloe vera. No one hardly talks about it, but it's so powerful, so impactful for your body. So carnosine being an antioxidant, this elevates your own carnosine level, right? That carnosine loves to hang out several places in your body. Number one, muscles. Helps to build lean muscle mass, muscle recovery, repair, tissues, ligaments, tendons, things like that. Carnosine loves the heart. We see the benefits of the heart using carnosine. And carnosine also loves the brain. This is why I want you all on the carnosine. Carnosine balances left brain, right brain hemisphere. It improves cognition, communication, and all of your executive faculties, executive functions in your body. Your brain is a massive processor, right? This speeds up processing time. It gets that brain into balance, and it helps you to be able to function and focus on a completely different level. We can see from clinical studies the benefits of the X39 on the brain, helping the brain come into coherence and, amazing with anxiety and things like that, but very different than carnosine. So carnosine works amazing on all of the organs, just like the entire YH series does. So we can see huge benefits in the pancreas and the liver and the kidneys and the intestines. The lungs, the heart, we can see that from the studies with the YH series. But because of the brain, and you only have one, just like the heart, you only have one, I would definitely make sure that you're using the carnosine every day. And your instruction booklet is going to tell you that you can only use it 3 times a week. This is carnosine. The reason why is because originally it was created for athletes, right? To help build lean muscle mass, and kind of similar to the X49, but signaling a different peptide, helped with muscle recovery and repair. Well, we assumed in the beginning, David did, that not everybody would work out, go for a walk, go for a swim, take a class or something like that. And so they said, well, you don't need carnosine every day because, you're probably not needing muscle repair and recovery every day. And then, of course, as time went on, longer studies, a lot more information and whatnot, we see huge benefits for carnosine to continue to use it on a daily basis. I recommend you go for a walk, go for a swim, get out, get some movement, garden, do something to get your body moving. I love how David started promoting Tabatas last year at conference, and I started doing Tabatas, and those things are hard. 4-minute workouts, you're like, oh God, this is crazy. Do the same thing for 4 minutes and don't stop. And it can be really intense. But do something to get your body moving. But I would definitely recommend carnosine every day. There's nothing wrong with using it daily. It's not going to build up in your body that you can't get rid of it or anything like that. Remember, it's about balance. It's about repair. I'm sure we all need some type of repair in our brain and in our heart. So carnosine's a must. Another patch is Nirvana. Nirvana actually has a patch and a supplement. This is the company's only supplement. So Nirvana is what we call our bliss patch. This is our mood enhancer or mood balancing, stabilizing system. And so you can use the patch by itself. You can use the supplement by itself. I'll tell you the benefits in a minute when you put them together. But Nirvana increases your own beta endorphins, and your beta endorphins are responsible for happy, feel good, blissful states. Okay. And so when you use Nirvana, it helps with depression and anxiety and stress and worry and fear and all the things that, social anxiety, things like that people deal with, especially when you look at like your teenagers today and the things they're going through out there on social media, which is just plumb insane, right? So Nirvana is amazing to help with what you're going through mentally and emotionally. You can use all the patches and you can use Nirvana while you're taking medications. Obviously, consult with your physician if you have questions, but there are no interactions. This is signaling a different peptide in your body, right? It works with your neural hormones, neurotransmitters in your brain to help balance that. What happens when you use the pill? You can tell a difference in these in about 15 minutes, how you feel, okay? When you use these two together over extended time, because they're elevating your own beta endorphin are the body's natural painkillers. And so we know that beta endorphins are 20 to 30 times more powerful than morphine. That needs to sink in. So when we look at my back hurts, my knee hurts, my leg hurts, my neck hurts, I've had surgeries, I've been in car accidents, I can't get rid of the pain. I'm trying this, I'm doing this, and I don't want to be on these pain pills, but it's everywhere. Well, use the Nirvana system. We can see in clinical studies between 1 to 3 weeks is when we see full body pain reduction. So I don't know if you're going to be in week 1 using this system or week 3 or maybe 4. I don't know. We're all different. But because of the technology in this, the patent and sustained technology, you wear the patch for 12 hours, you take the 2 pills in the morning, and they keep your beta endorphin level elevated for a 24-hour period. That does build over time, which is why the pain reduction part of it comes in over time. And that was kind of a beautiful side effect they found from the clinical studies. So Nirvana system. And then the last 2 patches I'm going to talk to you about are identical. They're IceWave and AccuLife. They're the same. There's nothing different. AccuLife is licensed for pets, horses, veterinary use, things like that. IceWave is licensed for people. You can't have something licensed for animals that is licensed for people. Okay, it's kind of like ivermectin, right? It's horse paste, horse dewormer. How many of you have taken that? I know I have. Okay, so we can use things that pets do, and pets can use things that we do. I always joke around and say, well, if my husband's golfing and he needs IceWave because his ankle hurts, if he's been a horse's, you know what? I'll use AccuLife on him, and if he hasn't, I'll use IceWave. Honestly, it just depends on which one I have in my bag at the time. It doesn't matter. They both work, but they both are a 2-patch system, just like the energy enhancer as far as tan and white. They don't work the same, okay? White right, tan left, like the energy enhancer. The energy enhancer is different because it triggers beta oxidation. This actually opens up energy channels working with the polarity of your body to eliminate pain on the spot. It does not fix your problem, okay? You're going to need to get on the X39 and the Eon to get to the root of the problem that's going on physically in your body. That will repair and regenerate over time. But if you're in pain, we don't want you in pain. We don't want you taking pills because those are going to mess up your organs. We see that. So use the IceWave or the AccuLife on your pain area. So if it's your knee, white right, tan left. If it's your hip, your neck, your back, whatever, you've got a headache, put the IceWave on or the AccuLife, either one, it doesn't matter. And obviously these can be used on pets as well too, right? So those are our patches. Now, as far as the last 2 products that David's invented, these came out last year. And I love how David works. He's like, well, I'm going to be 60. He'll be 60, I think, next week when we're in Aruba. And he said, I'm going to be 60 next year. And so I'm going to invent something to keep my hormones in balance, because I know that testosterone is extremely important as I age, as all of my hormones staying in balance are extremely important as I age. And I don't want to take anything medically, and I don't want pellets. I don't want injections. I don't want creams or anything like that. So he did research in nature, as he always does, and found out that using this proprietary blend of a water, structured, energized water, and I'm not going to go into that, but using that in combination with specific essential oils and herbs, very specific ones, different in each one, the shine and the dream will balance your hormones. And he said testosterone level can go up in as little as 3 days. 3 days, they can see elevation in testosterone level in men. Sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks. Okay. If you're on testosterone or pellets or bioidentical hormones or anything like that, you need to check with your practitioner first. Don't go start using these if you are, because these are designed to put them in balance, and that's something else you're supposed to be doing to put it in balance. So you need to have that conversation with your practitioner on what you're doing. But here's what Shine does. Shine is for increasing oxytocin. Oxytocin is what a mom has when she has a baby. Love, happy, connection, those feelings, right? Those, the pure bliss, just unconditional love, happiness, energy, vitality. That's what happens when you spray the Shine. So for Shine, you spray on your wrist and you inhale deeply 7 times. It works with the olfactory senses in your brain. Okay, those are your smelling senses in your brain. All right. So if you want to use this before a workout, or if you want to use this in the morning when you get up, instead of a cup of coffee, you're like, I'm not giving up my coffee. Well, that's okay. I'm not saying you have to, but you can do it in conjunction, maybe a natural, feel good, happy, let's get my day going, right? And I know the smell of coffee makes me feel like that too. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to drink the coffee. I just want to smell the coffee. It smells so good. Well, Dream is the opposite in that it is not used during the day. It is used at night when you're in bed, ready to go to sleep. Not when your TV's still on and you just finished the bowl of ice cream. Remember, we talked about that those things don't happen. But Dream is something that you use, again, I'm not going to spray it right now, but you would spray it on your wrist and inhale 7 times deeply. That is going to help put you in a deep state of sleep, not a groggy Tylenol PM or Ambien state of sleep, but again, a natural, deep state of sleep, deep REM sleep. That's what the Dream does. So both of these together work to balance hormones, human growth hormone, your testosterone, estrogen, things like that. We can see that from our clinical studies, okay? But these are called aromatherapy mist because we have to keep them compliant, right? Aromatherapy mist, they smell amazing. They help give us energy and feel good. And they help us go to sleep and get a good night's sleep at night. And again, that was David's most recent invention. And of course, he's always working on more inventions in the lab. Who knows what's coming next? But know that everything that Lifewave stands for is about balance and is about helping you improve your quality of life. We are here for a very short period of time. We know that. And we want to enjoy the time we have here. We want to be pain-free. We want to have all of our mental and physical faculties about ourselves so that we can enjoy our loved ones and the things that we love to do. And because of, unfortunately, lifestyle, diet, injury, illness, stress, surgeries, accidents, the body gets out of balance. And one thing leads to the next in the wrong direction. And so Lifewave says, hey, for a few dollars a day, let's start the process of getting the body back into balance. And then we'll work on that reverse aging component with our technology. But let's help you cross those things off of your list that are bothering you. Get back with a person that invited you. They can send you the health tracker sheet. The health tracker will show you a couple different charts where you can rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and you'll be able to track yourself out for the first 90 days. So you can see what's changing because when you're in pain and you know it, and you're not happy. And when you're out of pain, you forget that you had that pain. And if you're not tracking your progress, it's just like getting a good night's sleep. When you have a good night's sleep, you're like, you just jump out of bed and take off going, right? There's no pain in the morning when you wake up, you forget about it. And so we want you to keep track of that progress over the days and weeks and months that you're using the patches. We would love for you to share your testimonial if you have not. We do our patching podcast Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday is at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, and Friday is 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. If you have not yet shared your personal testimonial, it's only about 5 minutes. That's it. We'll interview you. Go to ourteamcalendar.com and click on one of the open spots and join us. We would love to hear your personal experience using these patches or these sprays and what it's done for you. Because when you share, that lets other people know, wow, this is working for this, and this, all the things on your list. And now you're able to cross those off. I think that'll work for me too. Or I bet that'll work for my mom or my sister or my cousin. We care about the people we care about. And so please share this with them. The recording will be up on the YouTube channel, of course. in the Be Activating community. I'll have it on my YouTube channel. I know we didn't get time for questions today, and I apologize for that, but I really felt like I needed to go a little bit more in depth with the patches and things. You guys know that on Tuesday night at 8 p.m., I always do a Zoom on my Zoom channel where I will go briefly over science and tech, usually about 15 minutes. And then I spend about 45 minutes answering questions live time that you type in the chat. So if you didn't get your question answered today, please go back to the person that invited you. They can help you, or they can connect with their upline that can help you get that question answered. And join me on Tuesday if you want to ask me specifically a question. I'm more than happy to do that too. So thank you all for being here today. I hope you enjoy your Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you next week on a Patching Podcast. Thank you all.
Dr. Staci, before you shut down, just wanted to make sure people know that in